You're listening to Spill the Sea with Ashwati Ramesh.
Hi, Mr. Vikas.
Hello, hi.
Thank you so much for joining me here today. Super excited to talk to you. You work in a very important space that is water, something that we are aware of but don't fully understand. So, really excited to have you here.
I'm excited as well. Thank you for inviting me here.
Of course,
I'll be happy to share what I know and it'll be good to have a discussion. Thank you for inviting.
absolutely. So, before we jump in, I just wanted to give a quick shout out also to the cafe who have let us use their studio. The place is called Copper and Cloves, a plant based cafe. Lovely studio, as you can see.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. So, before we dig into the details, would you like to give our listeners an overview of what exactly Boson does?
Right. We are into water recovery. We convert any wastewater, especially sewage, into drinking water and sell that water. And we close the circular economy loop on wastewater. That's what we do.
Amazing.
And then now it's 16 years we have been in the industry and it's going well.
So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey? I know you've spent 16 years, as you said, that's an incredible amount of time to be working on a particular challenge. So, how has your journey been before actually founding this company?
Right. Like anyone would do their engineering, I also did my engineering in Coimbatore. So, at that point, I passed out in 2002. So, I wanted to make a lot of money. So, I was working here for Motorola, Integra, Talisman, and few other companies. But to make money, I thought we have to go outside the country and make a lot of money and come back. There was a visa called Working Holiday Visa,
Right.
so which let you work on a part-time role in the UK. You can go there, and then I didn't have a job, so I told my parents I have a job. So
Oh,
I went to UK on a working holiday visa. When I went there, I didn't have a job, so I worked for a petrol station in the night,
wow.
and then daytime I used to search for job. Luckily, over 3 4 months, I got a job into the IT since I had IT experience here. So I was into software testing, writing C++ codes, and things like that. While I was there, first 2 years is uh, you get the excitement of going to a different country, you roam around. So then over 3 years, 4 years, I thought I'll roam around countries. So I kept a target of 11 countries, 10 countries. So I've completed traveling everywhere.
What were these 11 countries?
So Portugal, Spain, Switzerland, Paris, Moscow. Until Moscow, I went. So I covered the entire Europe region. And then after some time, when you go outside country, you suddenly feel there's nothing done in our country. Politicians are bad and things like that. That's a common topic we end up talking. And over the years, when you keep talking about that, you feel that you're not doing anything, you're just talking from there. And it's like our olden days tea kade chat. So we sit in the tea kade and keep chatting. We
Right.
don't do anything. So during one of the Christmas parties, 8 of my friends, we said all Swadesh Rang De Basanti style. After few drinks, we said, okay, tomorrow we go resign. We'll have to take that step to go back to India, do something on energy, water, e-commerce, all that.
Right.
So next day, I actually went and resigned.
Oh, wow.
Others were still there now. Few guys are coming back. Most of them still remain there.
Right.
But I took that impulsive decision, and I still don't know why I took that decision at that point. But once I took that decision, I didn't want to have any plan B, because see, always people say you should have plan B. All my friends, family, everyone said my notice period was 6 months, so I had to be there till May.
Right.
So if I was there till May end, then I could have applied for PR and things like that. But I didn't want. 23rd May I left UK. So I didn't. I definitely wanted to be here. I knew that it's going to be difficult here.
Mm.
So I moved back in 2008. I moved back, and my initial interest was to work on water. Why water? When I was 10 years old, 1991 or 1990, my dad tried something on water in terms of selling demineralized water in Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
That they had some small laboratory. I used to go mix chemicals and things like that. Maybe that is one thing. And second incident was during 91. There was Tamil Nadu Karnataka fight for water,
Yeah.
right? Few people died both sides. We were the only Kannadigas on that road. We had all friends, neighbors, all were friends. They said if someone don't know you, come and start pelting stones and things like that. Then you go behind your house and jump to our house. So we had kept ladders, everything. We both were,
Wow.
me and my younger brother, we both were kids. My father said, if there is anything, you just go back, just escape to the neighbor's house.
Right.
Right? So think nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was all supportive only, but there was so much fear for water, and maybe that is one more incident felt. At any point, if I do business, it should be water. That is second thing. So with all these things, I decided to move back in 2008. From 2008 onwards, I have been working on water. So when you move back to the country, you have some money after working for 5 years in the UK, you have some money. So what normally people think is you should go to some rural school, work with kids at government school, do something for government school. That's what we have seen during our time, meaning 2008. That's what people normally do. People have some 50, 60 lakhs, they come, they go identify a school, let's do something for the school.
Right.
So I found few schools in Tumkur. I said there is fluoride in water, let's do a purifier for fluoride removal. And I started making one product, started working with schools and things like that.
Okay.
I realized that you give a purifier out of your efforts, you design some unique system and give. Next year, someone gives a CSR for the school, the purifier gets removed. It doesn't have a lasting impact on any either policy or the infrastructure. They keep getting CSR funds and someone keeps doing it.
But why
Until,
does it get removed?
so there is no one to maintain because it
Okay.
comes free. There is no one, the team there changes. Who is going to monitor, who is going to operate, just it gets left out. Next someone comes, sees, okay, there is a purifier, maybe that is not working, we'll put a new one, and there is no one to maintain and things like that. So
Right.
it doesn't really add value. It adds value to sometimes 6 months, 8 months. After that, when there is a problem, then they don't attend to it, they don't even inform, it just gets lost. So I felt we're just spending money, but it is not really helping someone for long term. It is temporarily helping someone, but it's not really helping for them long term.
Right.
So we wanted to do something long term, infrastructure based, the real reason for me to come back and all that. So 2018 to 2014, I was normal Mawadi category, buy and sell.
Right.
It was giving money, so but I didn't really feel really good in terms of creating infrastructure. 2014, my mother was detected with cancer.
Okay.
So then she really asked, "You're just buying and selling. You're buying from Salem, buying from Pune, and you're trying to sell. You have a patent. I have a patent in my name. I have 2 patents in my name. All that was not there, but it still was trading, buying and selling." She asked, "If you are doing this, you better go back to UK." I had offer from Spain at that point, so if you're doing this, then you do go back to UK, make money there. You'll be more peaceful there. You go back, she said.
Right.
If you want to really do something, then do it seriously. Just trading, I don't think so. You'll like it. That's what she said.
Right.
She passed away in 2015. So
Okay.
2014-15 was sort of game changers in terms of I got beyond money creation. Meaning, see, it's easy to make money. It's easy to make money in business. If you sell right product to the right customer, you will make money. But if it doesn't give you satisfaction, or if it doesn't give a long term impact on the society, then I felt when I'm 60, 65, 70, then I won't feel that I've done something with my life and things
Meaningful.
meaningful. So we started working on wastewater as a segment which India needs to focus.
Understood. I think we are all very grateful that you did decide to impulsively quit and get into this space. Mother's push is always very, very efficient. So glad to have you here and have Boson doing the work that it does. So, how did you meet Gautam, who's your co-founder? How did you all kind of decide to found this together?
Yeah. So from 2008 till 2017, I was doing it alone.
Okay.
Gautam is my college mate. I did my engineering in Coimbatore. So during one of the college, Abdul Kalam had come to our college. Okay. So we were supposed to be in the first seat. We slept slept off longer, and then me and Gautam were in the last seat. We didn't go. We couldn't even meet. He was in the stage. So when we were in the last seat, we thought someday we should do some business. Someday we should do something impactful for the city. Things like that. We were talking, sitting in the last seat. But see, both are from middle class, so we have to work. So that discussion somehow was impactful. So we thought one day we'll do something together. Then I got into IT, he got into IT. So I came back in 2008. He was with Cisco and many other companies. So I kept on posting videos in YouTube on what we did for Victoria Hospital, what we did for few clients. And he saw one of the videos. He said, "No, I'm just building a house. I'll finish this in 2017. Once I finish, I'll quit everything. I'll come and join." So 2017, he decided to quit everything. He knew it's going to be a difficult journey. So this social entrepreneurship is not easy. It won't work like an Excel sheet. You put it in an Excel sheet, just draw this year 1 crore, next year 5 crore, next year 25 crores. It doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of things on the ground. So he understood that, and 2017, Gautam said, "I'll come and join you." He quit everything and came and joined.
Incredible.
So and that's when. So we are both working on this purely driven by passion. See, what I feel is when we start, passion doesn't come to the strength. You don't start it with 100% passion, but as you keep doing things, your passion matures. You really understand what you really want to do, and you're very clear on what you want to do only after you spend so many years. And then for Gautam, 2017, 18, 19, he understood what we really wanted to do, and he wanted to add value on IoT because that was his expertise. Remote data collection, how to
Right.
optimize it, how to reduce the cost and things like that. So Gautam has been there from 2017 now. Yeah, so he takes care majorly of operations and technical implementation. We both do sales, meaning I take care of
Course, yeah.
sales, investor, team.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Mr. Vikas, can you give us maybe a brief overview on, what the current water situation looks like for India? What is obviously demand is growing. How are we supplying this, catering to this demand? If you could just elaborate on that.
Right. So I'll start from how do we get water to our house, right? As individuals, we either live in an independent house or we live in an apartment complex. Okay. Now let's take an example of Bangalore. Okay. Government decides what is the level of water in the dam, KRS dam or other dams. They decide the level of water in the dam, and then they decide to distribute that water. They pump the water all the way 100 kilometers away to the city using 65 substations, and then pump the water to our houses. It gets stored in our sump, and
Yeah.
then we pump it. So the water comes from the river, gets pumped to the city, right? Now, when government looks at distribution, the only option they have is to look at the level of water in the dams and start distributing, right? Now, that is what is happening in all our cities, not just Bangalore. All our cities, we have a reservoir where the government decides to distribute. Okay. Now, in 80 and 90, the government couldn't distribute as much water required for the city for the speed at which the city is expanding. Okay.
Right.
So government started propagating borewell water, right? So people started digging borewells, 100 feet, 200 feet, 500 feet, and then started taking water. So these are the two sources of water which people get. If your house doesn't get municipal water being supplied, you dig a borewell, take water, right? Now, as we started growing really fast, this borewell started getting exploited, meaning people took more water than they can, and people started supplying water in tankers.
Right.
Because your borewell is dry, some tanker will fill the water in the borewell and supply. So you have the third angle of water coming in. Now, all these are either stored fossil water, which has been there when dinosaurs were drinking water, we are exploiting it from there,
Yeah.
or from the river, now from the dams. Now, where the dam get water, it's rain. So there is one source of water which is below the ground, one source of water which is coming above the ground. These have been the only two sources of water. Now, as such, Bangalore, if you see, for the population, if we have to keep growing, these two sources are not enough. Bangalore gets around 1,450 million liters of water per day from Kaveri, meaning from the river. we get equivalent 1500 mld from the borewell.
Okay.
So both these water are currently coming to the city.
Right.
50% of the water could be from the borewell and 50% is from the municipal supply, right? Now this 50% of water could be your borewell, could be my borewell, it can be transported via tankers, but effectively from the
Ground.
ground. Yeah, these are the only two sources of water. Now if you see any other city, all the cities are same. Any urban city, Pune, Delhi, Mumbai, all of them have water being supplied at different ratios. If you see Mumbai, it's 30% of water from Pune, it's 30% of water from the borewell, remaining 70% is from municipal. If you see Delhi, it's 25%. If you see Hyderabad, it's 40%. So borewell supplied by private players or their own borewell plays a significant value chain in terms of supply of water, because government can't supply that quantity of water. Okay, now that's the scenario. Now how do we address this scenario is the other way which other cities look at, say for example Israel or Singapore or London. So all these places, how do they start their water? They don't start from the dam, they start from the population of the city.
Right.
Say they know the population, say 1.3 crore people in Bangalore will generate so much of wastewater,
Yeah.
and this wastewater is first treated and met for the industrial requirement, and then they go to the fresh water.
Okay.
Right? We don't start from wastewater and population, we start from an unpredictable source. Rain, we can't really predict how much we are getting, right? One year it will be higher, it's not really predictable in terms of seasons, in terms of monthly demand.
Yeah.
But wastewater, you will find some source from somewhere, right? So wastewater is more predictable. So developed cities go from predictable source, they start their industrial water distribution based on the wastewater being treated and used for industrial,
Okay.
and then they move to the freshwater source. Ours, we move from the freshwater source, and wastewater we don't track it. It is in volumes, the same volume has to go out, so whatever comes in gets used and goes to the neighboring city or gets wasted into our channels, either goes to the sea. Finally it all gets wasted because there is no accountability in terms of wastewater, right?
How much of this wastewater is getting treated, and what happens to the rest of it?
Yeah. So government themselves, if you see Bangalore, they themselves have set up over the years some 37 or 38 large STPs, sewage treatment plant,
Okay.
where the city's waste get treated, and then it's still sent to the same drain or it's sent as a makeup water to the lake.
Okay.
Okay, government, but it is very under capacity. Probably. So 30%, 25% is what is the current capacity. It needs to be increased to a large extent if they have to do a centralized treatment plant. For the government, if they have to do a centralized treatment plant, the area required is large, the distribution of wastewater becomes a big challenge. Say you go put a big centralized treatment plant after Devanali, how are you going to transfer all the wastewater from the city and take it to Devanali or even after that, right? So we have grown really fast that now you can't put any wastewater large system inside the city. Whatever done is done, you can put small systems somewhere,
Right.
and then manage the wastewater. So so this is the current situation. Now as per our estimate, around 200 crore liter of water every day is treated and sent to the drain, apart from the
Right.
government STPs.
Okay.
Say you live in an apartment complex, you have a sewage treatment plant, you treat the wastewater, you send the treated water to the drain,
Okay.
because you can use only a little bit for garden and flushing, remaining goes to the drain. So there is a large amount of excess wastewater which is not used by anyone, going to the drain, completely unused, either
Is-
polluting our lakes or polluting our environment.
Right. And is it being sent to the drain because it can't be used for other purposes apart from, say, gardening or your bathrooms, for example? Is it because it's not treated to a level where it can be used for
Yeah.
other purposes?
Yeah, so there are two segments to it. I'll clarify that. For government STPs, right? The large government STPs, the water is treated and it is meeting the garden requirement and lake makeup water requirement. It will meet the quality for those two standards, and
Okay.
it's sent out. That is managed, say the contractor to the next city, that is managed. What I am talking about is the decentralized. Now there's a word centralized and decentralized. Government is all centralized.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there are 3,500 decentralized STP sewage treatment plant, right? These 3,500 is inside apartment complexes. Say
Okay.
there is a 200 unit apartment, the government mandates them to treat the wastewater using a sewage treatment plant.
Right.
The treated water from there, they are supposed to use it for garden and flushing. Okay. The quality of water is good enough for only garden and flushing requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for a person per day, we require 135 liters per person per day. Okay, that is the Indian standard average. It is increasing now, but 135 liters per person per day is the requirement. Okay, out of which garden requirement is 12 liters.
Okay.
Okay, flushing requirement is 45 liters.
Right.
Okay, so we still have 90 liters left with us. What do people do with that? Okay, so garden, 1 acre of garden requires only 5,000 liters. So if you have acres and acres of garden also, for the people, there will always be excess per capita. Okay,
Right.
this 90 liters excess per capita is the issue. People don't know how to do. Out of this 3,500 STPs, every STP will have 90% per 90 liters per capita wastewater, which people don't know where to use,
Right.
and they illegally send it to the drain, or hire tankers and ask the tanker guys to go give it to some park and all that. Okay, but there is always excess wastewater because of the quality of water, which is non-usable. Even if the quality is good, people hesitate to use because it's recycled. People
Right.
say 5 minutes ago it was in my flesh, now you're asking me to drink and all that. There's a huge psychological barrier also. So people don't invest time to make it a better quality water, because anyway they are not going to use it. It's only for garden and flushing, which doesn't come under human contact. So they don't bother to get it to a quality where it can be reused. So they give it to a quality whichever is acceptable. Now, apartment, even after treating, when they send it to the drain, right, there is an independent building next to it, which is sending direct sewage without treating, because it's not mandatory for them. That gets mixed with treated wastewater, which is
Right.
people spent money on it, gets mixed with untreated, finally becomes untreated. When you mix treated water with untreated, it will anyway become untreated.
Yeah.
So large volume of untreated water enters our lakes, right? We have no other place to
Yeah.
send it, right? It enters one of our lakes. So that is why lakes become contaminated, so difficult to manage this water going to the lake. Right. So it is
Right.
the quality. So the question here is, it's the quality of water, and
Right.
people don't find the need to improve the quality because they can't use it.
Right. So, what is the current technology like for STPs, and how much innovation is really needed in this space?
Yeah. So we, I have seen people from 20s to 40s, 50s. We always, in India, we always talk about technology, right?
Yeah.
What technology is it helping? Meaning, is advancement is in technology will help? Yeah. Over the years, I started that way. I also think innovation, we need to have patents. So I have two patents in my name. All that, we worked on very complex technology like carbon nanotubes, graphene, all that. So there are a lot of technologies, but IAC has many patents which doesn't becomes commercially
Yeah.
available. Okay. What I feel is technology is not a problem. We have all the technologies available. It is the on the ground implementation. So when we speak to investors also, whoever, they always talk about deep tech in social entrepreneurship. Deep tech, you need some AI, you need some. But so what our country needs is not high-end technology which will get one patent and we'll sell the technology to US or something. It doesn't need that. If we have to really solve the problem of the world, we need very simple things where people can go do it themselves on the ground, right? Coming to your question on technologies for STP, there are various technologies starting from activated sludge process, extended aeration, MBR, SBR. So many technologies are there. Finally, all the technologies boil down to the operator who operates the STP, right?
Yeah.
STP, if it is a biological system, if he sleeps off in the night without running the blowers in the system will fail. You
Yeah.
put whatever technology, it will fail, right? So the underlying issue with wastewater is not technology. It is the on the ground implementation and process to implement it, monitoring things like that is the actual problem for STP, right?
Right.
Now, if you, this can't be comparable to a tech business. Like there is a software business where you can scale to the globe, meaning then technology plays an important role. Here we have to solve our roads problem, which is 5 kilometers road. We have to solve our roads problem, right? Until
Absolutely.
someone has to go on the ground, find the problem, put a solution to it, make it commercially viable, it doesn't work. So in our country, I feel until otherwise it's commercially viable, it has to be a good business model for the business person who's doing it on the ground. It has to really add value on the ground. People have to have value commercially, and they should see day in day out adding value. Then it goes. Still
Right.
it takes a long time to do it, but yeah, all these three.
Right.
Did I answer your question, Mini?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, technology is important, but the real problem is not technology. Real problem is on the ground execution and getting things done.
Understood. Okay, so I think we have a base understanding of, what the industry looks like. Would you like to share a little bit more in detail about what you guys do and how you guys are really solving this
Right.
challenge?
Yeah, definitely. So now what is happening in apartments is this excess water which I was talking about. They have an STP which is running, sewage treatment plant. They use a portion of it for garden and flesh.
Yeah.
This excess water is sent to the drain, right? What we as an organization do is go to these apartment complexes, say you have excess water which is currently unused by anyone, sent to the drain, or you're paying money to transport this water to some BDA park or some other place. We go set up our system in the apartment at our cost. We call the equipment as Boson Whitewater equipment, which is a 11-stage treatment process which
Right.
converts STP treated water to IS 10500 standards quality water, technically potable water. Right?
Right.
We take it to that stage in that quality after many stages, produce high quality water, find a tanker network who's currently plying in that region, ask him to come and take our water, find a buyer who can use our water, and then he doesn't have to exploit borewell water. So apartments wastewater becomes useful for an industry near the apartment,
Right.
and it solves everyone's problem in the cycle, and we make a business out of it. Right?
Right.
Now, to understand this, imagine we have a 300 unit apartment. Right?
Okay.
They will have 2 lakh liters of STP treated water available to them. Every day, 2 lakh liters will come out of the building, out of which 50 to 60,000 liters they'll use.
Okay.
Yeah. Remaining all the water, they don't know what to do, right? We go set up a system in 2 car park areas. We ask them for 2 car park areas. We go set up our system. Their STP treated water comes to our system, and the output of our system, we put our tanks there, and then store it in that.
Right.
That will have very low total results. Also, all the parameters, E. coli, total coliforms, fecal coliforms, all this gets addressed. That is a high quality water. Then we call the tanker guys, they take it and give it to buyer near that. So we make money by selling this water to the client, and our capital 40 lakhs or 35 lakhs gets covered over a period of 4 years, 4.5 years. Okay. Now everyone in the cycle benefits, because apartments, it's a legal requirement for them to correctly dispose their excess water or
Yeah.
reuse the water, right? We solve that, they become compliant, right? Tanker guys, instead of exploiting borewell water and selling, they become our distribution network, where they supply high quality water to our industry, and they don't have to exploit borewell water. They make consistent revenue because this water is predictable source. It's not like during rain I'll supply, when there is no rain I can't supply. So we give them a stable revenue for transporting our water to our client,
Right.
and our client doesn't have to treat the water further. So if they buy other water, they have to pass it through RO and treat it and then use it for their application. Now can directly use it for their application. It will reduce their wastewater cost.
Right.
How is the wastewater cost? If they put an RO system, if they need 12,000 liters, they'll have to buy 24,000 liters. Now with us, they buy only 12,000 liters, directly use it for their application. All the work, all the chemicals which is used in this treatment gets saved,
Yeah.
and they save on the cost, and they don't exploit borewell water.
Right.
And we make a business out of it, because in 4 years we cover the entire investment.
Right.
and then we start making money, then we become sustainable. So it works out for us. For
Right.
us meaning for investors also it works out.
Right. So basically, what it is that even for you guys right now, there is a supply demand element, which is your clients who are buying the treated water, and there's a supply element, which is where you're going to go set up your units in. So, who are the typical players that you're working with on both sides?
So with apartments, every day we're processing around 10 apartments, which is 10 into 4 tankers. So almost 40 tankers we're processing with apartments. Apart from apartments, we work with IT parks, malls, all these, where they themselves buy. We don't have tanker network. Say all the
Okay.
Brigade or N mall, they buy our water, they use it for their ACs, cooling towers.
Okay.
So we have that side of clients, and we have the other side buyers, SKF, Snyder, all these people who buy our water. They use it for cooling tower, laundry application, semiconductor application, electroplating, all these plastic extrusion, all these application they buy our water.
Right.
So and the tanker water is very localized. It will be on that road. Whoever is supplying many tankers, we tie up with them.
Right. And you did, I think we were talking about this earlier, where in the value chain you do come up with a lot of challenges that you have to face on the tanker side. Do you want to share a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So from 2015, which I was saying 2015 when we started. So initially it was product sale. So what we did, we made this product. We thought we'll sell this product directly to clients, right?
And the product is the treatment
Boson
facility.
treatment system, which
Yeah.
takes STP treated water and makes it potable quality water. We wanted to sell this product directly to client. So when we took the technology, people didn't want to believe that it's an Indian technology. How do we trust? Put 35 lakhs on the project. During one of the discussion, we said we will sell the water. Meaning on the discussion only, we decided you don't buy the equipment. I will put the equipment. You buy on per liter basis to our clients, RMJ, Cobalt, all these places. We said buy water directly. So once the technology is solved, we had to solve the money problem. So I had to put house on collateral and things like that, and put the
Yeah.
investment on the equipment because it's our technology, and we started selling water. Once we sold water to say one of the IT parks, people tankers who were supplying water and taking the wastewater out, they started losing business, right?
Yeah.
Say you have an IT park, you're currently hiring a tanker to take your excess treated water to some place. He's paid say 1,000 rupees per tanker, 1,500 rupees per tanker. He is losing business because we are recovering and giving it for the cooling tower. So he's losing two sides of business: one, wastewater sending it out, and the fresh water which is supplying, right? So there was opposition on how can you do it. So we had in one of the IT parks, we had a plan to do 11 projects, but we could do only one because we were
There was pushback.
there was pushback from the client, from the tanker network, and things like that. So we'll move to apartment segment, right? Now, so we initially used to think it's a big fight, police station, all that. So we had lots of issues. We had to go to police station, things like that. Then once we understood that the reason they are afraid of this is they are losing business. They have been doing it for 30 years, 35 years. They have been a significant part of value chain in terms of supply of water. How can you remove someone who's strong, who is a part of supply chain, and he needs to be there, right?
Yeah.
Then we started tying up. Now there are different incidents where uh, initially when we one of the apartments, when we wanted to transport our tanker, was stopped in a signal and things like that. That time we didn't know how to handle it. We had Kiran madam interfering, all of them helped us, and then now it's solved. Meaning once we started giving business to them, they become partners to us.
Right.
So that is how we were able to solve. Now tanker becomes an important segment for us in terms of distribution, and we can't have a large company putting 200 tankers. I will take over all that. We don't want to do.
Yeah.
We can't do. So we want to use the existing network which is already being catering, and we make exploited water, our water as a replacement for exploited water. It
Yeah.
makes sense for them. It makes sense for us. So
Got it. And there's actually a very detailed, nice depiction of this on your website, which I'll put in the link for our listeners. But can you touch upon, how the pricing works from all the sources of supply?
yeah. So if someone buys tanker water, it costs them around 14 to 15 paisa per liter during rainy and winter season. During summer it can go up to 30 paisa per liter. Okay, this is tanker water, this is first source of water. If it is municipal Kaveri water which they are buying, it can cost from 3 paisa to 22 paisa per liter. Municipal,
Okay.
based on the slabs, based on who
Yeah.
is buying, 3 paisa to 22 paisa per liter. We sell our water between 8 and 10 paisa per liter plus transportation. If it is transportation, 8 to 10 paisa per liter plus transport. Okay. Now, when we say in paisa, it is a volume game. So we sell a minimum of 12 kl tanker for any client to buy. It goes in
Okay.
12,000 liters tanker. 12,000 is minimum quantity which they would buy. Um, and in cases where they themselves buy, there is no transportation. It is 8 paisa per liter.
Right.
So now for the apartment, there is no capital investment. We do the investment on the equipment for the
Right.
apartment. And then they have to give us plumbing line input, plumbing line output,
Okay.
tanker access. We pay either rent for them for the space which we use, or for every tanker which we sell, we pay 60 rupees back to them. This is a small revenue model for them. We pay for power also which we use. So there is no net negative loss for the apartment, it's only profit.
Right.
For the transport guy, based on the distance, it could be 1,000 rupees, 1,100 rupees, 700 rupees, based on the distance, based on the quality of tanker, based on the timing he is ready to operate, we offer them. For the end client, whatever is the transportation, the same 8 paisa per liter. So it sometimes ends up at 20, 21 paisa per liter for the
Right.
buyer.
Got it. And maybe just to get a bit technical, you did mention that you'll have a 11-stage treatment process for this excess wastewater, right? If you could walk us through it briefly.
Yeah. So the input comes to us as an STP treated water, which is meeting certain norms of pollution control, which is good for gardening and flushing. Right? From there, we take it to a stage called aluminosilicate. Uh, mm, Green color wine bottles, you remember it used to come in green color. Those wine bottles are difficult to process. So there are companies who crush these glass bottles which are available, green color ones, and make a material out of it called aluminosilicate.
Okay.
Okay, it's not glass; it is a type of glass metal, aluminosilicate, that we use as one of the stages.
Okay.
Then we use something called manganese dioxide, which is yellowish color tinge will be there in the STP treated water. We have to remove color from that, so we use manganese dioxide. Then we use coconut shell carbon made from coconut shell.
Yeah.
Then we use something called synoptilolite, which is a natural ore. We put it inside a cylinder. It will reduce something called turbidity and TSS. So once it passes through all these stages, we have pH neutralization. Then we have micron filtration, 10 micron and 5 micron. Micron filtration is our one strand of hair is 80 micron. Right?
Okay.
We take it to 5 micron filtration. Right?
Wow. Okay.
Just to have
Perspective.
perspective. Yeah. So once we have micron filtration, then we have membranes. Right? These membranes are 0.0001 micron filtration, which means
Wow. Okay.
it is smaller than the size of bacteria, virus, herbicides, pesticides, heavy metals, all that. So imagine like a sheet where you pass the water, all the contaminants get stuck on the sheet, you get pure water coming out. Right? So we use membrane-based filtration. Then we have pH again. We have UV after that. We have one more stages of dosing, ozonation, and then take it to the treated water. So there is a norm called DPR, direct potable reuse. So our system is designed based on the DPR norm, which can take the water from untreated, partially treated STP water to potable quality water. So we have designed it as per the DPR norm. In our country, DPR norm is not yet there. So in the US, it's there. So we
Right.
took the same norm. And so there is two norms we should know. One is DPR, direct potable reuse. Other one is indirect potable reuse. Right?
Okay.
So our systems which go into the apartments are DPR system, direct portable reuse systems,
Right.
which has all these 11 stages. Now when we keep talking about urban infrastructure, keep talking about this is, now where does cities wastewater still go? Still goes to the rural, right? One of
Yeah.
the cities outside Bangalore. Until we solve that also, this whole equation doesn't get fully solved. So we started working with Biome for one such project, which is first IPR, indirect portable reuse in India.
Right.
where wastewater from Baglur, HN Valley, Hebbal Nag, wherever goes to Baglur Lake. From
Right.
Baglur Lake, it gets pumped to one more lake, Sehinirkere Lake. From there, the lake gets filled with treated HTP water. Right, the
Okay.
lake is full. Now there is a well next to the lake
Mm-hmm.
where the water goes through natural filtration and fills up in the well. So we
Right.
got the water tested in the well, that was meeting all the norms.
Right.
Then we put a treatment plant after that, make it even better, and then now 10% of Devanali's population is getting supplied with our water.
Wow,
That's a
that's
different
incredible.
system. That's based on IPR, indirect potable reuse, where
Mm-hmm.
natural water, we call it's natural water which has gone through earth filtration and things like that.
Yeah.
We take it, see the quality, process it further, and then supply it to industries. So we supply
Yeah.
both sides, both.
Right. And I think this is a good point. It's such an elaborate filtration process that you guys have. I think psychologically, as you mentioned before, people can't seem to convince themselves to, say, for example, drink that water, use it for anything closer to home. But when you say it's going through a natural filtration process, it's going through all of this and going through the well, then it's more accepted.
Correct.
So, how are you maneuvering, or maybe to take one step back, what are the different uses of your treated water, and how do you see this evolving to one day people actually drinking this?
Right. So people are already drinking.
Okay.
So we met between 2019 20, just before COVID. We met 374 apartments. Okay. We said we'll treat your wastewater. You take it to your sump. You start using it. Right. 374 of them did not accept. No one
All
took
of
it.
them.
All of them. We spent so much time, efforts. None of them. None of them. So say there is an apartment. If there is 300 units apartment, 250 will accept. 50 might not accept, right? But still it won't go through because they will say I'll put a case on you and things like that. It doesn't go through. So like that, all of them did not come through, right? So we are fighting a psychological barrier. But what happens now after the scarcity last year, like big water problem, apartments started saying you don't put the system in our apartment, you put it in a different apartment, you treat it and supply via tanker. We don't have psychological barrier, right? The one such apartment which is buying water that way, they came, tested, tasted all that. So they are already buying water in tankers, right? So they found dead rat in one of the tanker which they were already buying. They had cockroaches in it. They opened the sump, this bad smell coming out. So they got frustrated with supply.
Right.
Rather than relying on something which we don't have any control, here every batch of water gets quality test slip. You know all the parameters tested.
Yeah.
It comes. You don't need a softener. You don't need anything. You can directly take. Anyway, for drinking, for safety, they have one more purifier. All that they add for their psychological issue, but they take the water directly. Right? This psychological problem is not we're trying to address immediately, right? Because see, just Bangalore, 330 million liters per day.
Yeah.
Fresh water is used for industrial requirement. For washing your clothes, you use fresh water, right? For electroplating, people use fresh water. For all the industrial application, 330 million liters per day is now given by Kaveri or Borewell, right?
Yeah.
If we just first target that, we don't have to fight with the psychological barrier of people. You
Yeah.
know what happens? Um, uh, when it is water, right, it becomes, people have pani puri outside and they get stomach ache, they won't blame anything. But after our water comes in, whatever happens to anyone, it comes to water. It must be because of water.
Yeah.
Because it's already so ingrained that it's recycled. When they say recycled, they habituated to see water in the flesh.
Yeah.
They don't see the process. They don't see 14 stages of filtration or 11 stages of filtration. Wastewater comes to their mind. So
Yeah.
there is just such a push in terms of accepting. If we keep trying to push that, then it doesn't move fast, and we are fighting. We'll be like activists, keep on fighting, and 20 years nothing happens, right? So if we are able to cater to industrial water requirement, we would have created significant impact. Over time, people will adopt. See, during the scarcity, in one of the apartments, those association members were very conservative. They were against putting the system near the freshwater system itself. They put it far away, completely not seen by any of the residents, far away. You take it from there, take it outside. That sort of mindset. The same people who were very conservative, during the crisis, they started taking our water for swimming pool. They
Okay.
themselves took videos of their kids swimming in the water, said few hours ago the water was in our flesh, now it's our swimming pool and kids are swimming. Thanks to your amazing work. This water is better than the tanker water which you bought.
Right.
Right? So after 1 year, 6 months, people started testing water, understanding it. Then not even one day there is E. coli, there is no coliform, there is high quality 30 ppm TDS.
Yeah.
It's like swimming in bottled water quality, right? And then people, once they get used to it, they want that water only. From then on, it became natural for them to take it to swimming pool at least.
Right.
So slowly people start measuring. Other apartments said you give it from that apartment to our apartment. You don't put any system inside our house. Anyway, it's coming in tanker. You supply it. They take it for all applications.
Right.
Right? Slowly it's changing. Eventually, what we see changes. Maybe 5 years, 10 years, we don't know. Those apartments who have our system, they will want our water because that
Right.
will be better than any other water they're buying.
Right.
Right? So we have a almost closed loop. They still buy fresh water. Almost 70% of water gets saved immediately. Next day they decide to use our water. 70% saving in cost, 70% saving in water.
Yeah.
So eventually it will reach there.
No, that's great to hear that people are, and that's great validation as well, right? Once people try it, then there's no going back.
Exactly.
So people will start seeing other units, other families doing this, and I guess it's looking positive in terms of
Yeah.
adoption.
So for industrial, it's straight away adoption because there is
Absolutely.
superb cost benefit for them. I'll give an example for laundry. One of the laundries, they were buying tanker water, right? For one machine to wash, right? They were using 400 grams of soap
Right.
via tanker water, right? With our water, for one machine, they're using 125 grams of soap. Significant reduction in soap usage.
Right.
Now, they also have a softener, okay, where the tanker water needs to be softened. There is wastewater generated, they have to put salt and things like that maintain. There is a big work involved in that. Okay. Once the water is washed from their washing machine, it goes to something called effluent treatment. Their wastewater they have to treat, effluent treatment plant.
Yeah.
If it was tanker water, they need a lot of chemicals to treat in their ETP, effluent treatment. With our water, the salts are too low, soap is too low, they cost benefit. So they save significant cost in their application, right? It is not for sustainability, people buy sustainability, all that people talk in social media and things like that.
Yeah.
But until otherwise it benefits them, they won't buy it consistently.
Yeah.
Last year during crisis, we had more demand than supply. We didn't have water to supply. We supplied to top guys, celebrities and all, we supplied water because the demand was so high. Now also we have more demand than supply. We can't
Yeah.
take large orders now. If someone asks 10 tankers, we can't supply, meaning in one place we can't supply, things like that. But once it is commercially benefiting, they are able to see. People have to get into that level to see, okay, last month my soap purchase was 50 kgs of soap. This month 10 kgs. How did it suddenly change? Right? How did it suddenly change? And ETP chemical cost like 45,000 every month came down to 11,000 rupees. So significant saving in cost. Not just that, the same laundry, if they have to treat it via RO, they have to buy twice the volume, right? That cost is not cheap. 1,700 they were paying for that tanker. They're paying 2,400 for us.
Yeah.
So they still save significant cost in their old supply chain. So it
Right.
benefits them laundry. It benefits in cooling tower. So whoever buys our water, commercially they benefit
Right.
and they become sustainable as well. They use lesser chemical in the whole cycle. There is lesser wastewater going out of their building. So everything becomes positive.
Right.
So it helps them. So yeah.
Got it. All right. So you also mentioned the metrics that you all keep track of, etc. Right? Could you elaborate on the intelligence systems that's currently in place?
Yeah. So I'll start with a little history on it.
Sure.
So during our first system when we did, so we had technology, strong 11-stage treatment, all that was there.
Yeah.
But we wanted a person to be there on 3 shifts, right? So if we have to put a person there for 3 shifts to operate, maintain all that, right? It commercially wouldn't justify overtime, right? Then Gautam have been working in IoT space for a long time. So we started looking at how to remove the manpower from the whole system, right? So we put all sensors which are required, which can transmit data to a cloud, and then take the data, and based on the data it says, say the pressure is 12 kg, then you'll have to send person. The pressure is 5 kg, you'll have to send. So all these metrics we developed inside the system where the data is remotely sent.
Yeah.
The first step which we did is to remove people from the permanent
Equation.
basis. So one person has to be able to manage 5 sites or 7 sites. So we removed that with all the sensors. We were able to remove. It took 7-8 months for us to get to that stage where a person needs to now go once a week to check everything. You don't need a person permanently there,
Right.
right? Second thing, when we use these membrane, it needs cleaning with different materials. We use anti-scale and different types of materials we have to use to clean the equipments, right? Now, we used to put the chemicals inside the thing for cleaning the floor and all that.
Yeah.
Now, all that got automated because we knew exactly how much material is required to clean all that. So we used algorithms, ML algorithms to reduce the quantity of chemicals or cleaning materials used inside the facility. Now, IoT got used to reduce manpower, ML got used to reduce the chemical, and then we have dashboard where all the data is coming. Now, recently, 6-7 months onward, so now we have data from all the sites. We have 17 large sites now,
Okay.
out of which 7 are IT parks, malls, and 10 are apartments. Where the data, we have enormous amount of data which is coming to our dashboard. Now, how we can analyze the system's performance and allocate people based on the system itself. The system has to say which engineer has to go to which site. So our operations manager role, we put a small AI agent onto it where the data is coming. We know this site requires service, say on Thursday. So it does a scheduling and then sends people. So slowly we are moving in technology. So without this technology bit, our per liter cost would have been higher, 30% higher,
Yeah.
right? That one technology bit for all these added a big value. So
Right.
all the sensors, IoT, dashboard, ML algorithm, all these.
Right. What are the typical sort of metrics, maybe high level, just for our listeners,
Yeah. So
that you'll measure?
we measure the incoming water qualities like total dissolved salts, ORP, pH, all these flow in the incoming. We measure pressure of water which is coming, pressure across stages, all these in the inlet, and all these in the outlet also. What is the quality of water going out? Total dissolved salts, pH, ORP, flow, all these parameters in the outlet.
Right.
So, and once it's treated, we for the apartment segment, when the tanker guy goes there, now previously we had to have a person there coordinating the tanker guy out, because they are drivers, they won't know how to operate system. So we needed a person who has to coordinate. Now we have put an RFID board where the tanker guy is given a pin.
Yeah.
So he goes, puts his pin, it will tell him which client to go, which route 1, route 2,
Right.
which route to go. So he presses the yes print slip, he'll get a slip which he carries to the clients and gives it. So we don't need a person there. So that again one more tech bit which we have added. So
Right.
basically all the technology bit which we did is not for investors. We didn't do it for investors' sake. We did it for our own performance improvement in terms of reducing operational cost, how to make
Right.
it sustainable and viable. So all the technology bit was done for ourselves. So we
Got it.
don't share the data dashboard to the client. If they ask, we do. But these are technical data which we'll use to improve the efficiency of the system and reduce our operating cost.
Right. That makes sense. And where are you operating currently? Which markets are you in India?
Yeah, so until last year we were just in Bangalore. Now recently we have people in Pune. We have just started in Pune few months now. Chennai first project is done. We have done
Okay.
it for Citadines. One group is, it's a hotel chain. They're going to use this water for laundry. We have one project in Coimbatore. We won an award from the government, Amrut. We won an award, 20 lakhs worth award. So we're doing one project in Hyderabad.
Okay,
So
great.
all are starting phase. In next year we'll have good number of installation in all these cities. So Pune, Hyderabad, Chennai, Coimbatore, these 4 cities which are, and yeah,
Got
slowly
it.
Delhi. We don't know when.
Okay, that's good to know. What are your thoughts on, are there any regions that are doing a better job, or are ahead in the game in terms of, supply, treatment, etc.?
Yeah. So centralized treatment. There are many countries in the world which are way ahead than us. Right? So because it's managed by the government,
Mm-hmm.
right? For decentralized, no other developed countries have a decentralized network. Say if you go to US, water is managed by the government. If you go to London, water is managed by the government. Everything is government.
Yeah.
We are the right place where there is so many decentralized network in availability, and no one is doing this in any part of the world. Meaning, because we are the only country where decentralized is booming like anything.
Right.
So in terms of cities, right, Chennai has a good centralized wastewater infrastructure network
Okay.
compared to Bangalore. Bangalore is the most enforced decentralized network.
Right.
Decentralized in Chennai is not as that great
Mm.
as Bangalore. So Pune is in the starting stage. They're like 15 years, just like Bangalore. Pune is 15 years. Um, our 2005 is equivalent to their 2024 now.
Mm-hmm.
But they will get into problems if they don't look at wastewater now.
Yeah.
So yeah, so any city, when the borewell or tanker water volume increases above 30%, we should start looking at wastewater infrastructure as a priority,
Right.
because then that means that they are growing and government can't supply. So
Yeah.
you'll have to look at some other source of water.
Alternative.
That is where we call ourselves as third source of water. One is from above, one is from below, one is from the wastewater which we take and make it usable.
Right. Since you touched upon this, what is the name behind, what is the story behind the name?
Yeah, boson. So there is proton, neutron, and there is a particle which was invented called boson,
Yeah.
which they told it as God particle because they didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
They called it as God particle. So for us, water is a God particle. So we took boson and used it for our because for us water is everything. So we
Yeah.
used that name. So,
That's nice. All right. So maybe going back to the topic we were talking about earlier, some cities were ahead, in terms of treatment or regulations, etc. What are your thoughts in terms of some of the gaps in the regulatory space for water?
right. So now, when any city is told water scarcity, right? How do they say, right? So Denmark gets almost the same amount of rainfall as Bangalore gets, but it's not called water scarcity. Why is that, right? That's because of the distribution of rainfall, right?
Yeah.
So we get good amount of rain in 6 months, and then we don't get rain. So it is the distribution of rainfall which makes a city water scarcity, right? But none of our cities in India actually we feel is water scarce. India is a resource rich nation.
Yeah.
We have been gifted with good quantity of rain. We have been gifted in all aspects. If we just look at sanitation and wastewater as a segment, then we are fully sustainable in terms of growth, in terms of water need, all that is achieved. Now, in 2008, when I moved back, the average borewell depth was around 750, 800 feet.
Mm-hmm.
From 400 to, if some borewell contractor takes an order, he takes orders for 450 feet and above.
Right.
Right? This was in 2008. Now, no one takes order below 1000 feet
Okay.
because you don't get water below 1000 feet. Okay. Now, we don't measure, government as such doesn't measure anything which is below the ground. Okay, we spend around 50,000 rupees per acre for surface water,
Mm-hmm.
channels, water distribution pipeline. 50,000 rupees per acre I think we spend on surface. We don't spend anything for the volume of water which is below the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the aquifer is divided and things that we
Yeah.
don't know what is there. So for all the cities in India, until it comes to the neck, we won't know that we don't have water, because
Yeah.
there is no clear data of what is the volume of water below the ground. Right, now, in terms of regulations, right, Bangalore is the first city where government said recognize that apartments have excess water,
Mm.
right, and they permitted apartment to sell it. Right now apartments can sell it or send it to someone who can use it. So this wastewater as a source, Bangalore is the first city, there is a policy which has come out.
Right.
Now, in terms of country, right, STP enforcement really started after 2012, 13, after 14, where STP enforcement started. The
Right.
sewage treatment plant itself enforcement started in 2013 onwards. So, in terms of policies, we are little behind in terms of acceptance of people. We ourselves shoot it down saying that people won't accept. Until there is a policy framework for people to accept, right? Industry, if there is a policy saying industry have to buy 5% of water from recovered water, some policy comes out like that, then
Yeah.
it becomes easy for pushing the wastewater infrastructure. Now, government, we have, so when I moved back from UK, right, the first thing I did was going speaking with government, right? So we always end up blaming the government. This policy is not there. We generally, uh, as
As
a natural
humans.
thing, we keep blaming the government. That, but when I see all the sides, right? So I have sat so many times in the government water supply. We have had so many meetings. I have had so many meetings with pollution control board. All of them. See, uh, it's a it's a lot of work for them with the existing resource to get something large done on the ground, right?
Yeah.
So they can enable people who are working on that. That is the maximum they can do. So if someone has to say, we took 45 years to do a 100-kilometer road network, right? So we take a very long time when it is in the hands of the government. It is either lack of resource, or someone planned something really well. 3-4 years they are not there in that cycle, so all their plan get shot down or maybe continue, depends on who is coming in. So there is no long term work being possible from the government side, until otherwise it's a large 2500 crore project, 5000 project. Only large projects is possible by the government over a long time. So in terms of policy, they are enablers of policies for companies or for individuals to act on the policy. So that is one thing which I think government should act on, setting up policies where large companies like us come. Now we are present in Bangalore because there is a policy in Bangalore saying that apartments can sell the water. We
Yeah.
go pitch it. So if this policy is available in Pune, then it becomes easy for apartments. If someone is wasting full water, they say, okay, there is a policy saying that you can't waste water, the first thing, and you can also make a small revenue out of it. If you efficiently run you can make a small revenue. So things like this can be enabled by the government,
Right.
right? One of the commissioners I was speaking, he said, so if there are in a population of 100 people, right? If there is 2-3 thief, then it can be enforced by police. If there are 9 thieves, how can you enforce it by police? Understood, right?
Yeah.
So the government's work now in most cases ends up like enforcing 90 people they have to enforce. It is not 1-2 people who are defaulting.
Yeah.
It's 9 people who are defaulting, right? So it's not the government work. It is creating awareness, make this 9 come to 2-3, and then government can enforce, right? Until there is citizen enforcement naturally, government's policy can help people adopt few things. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
lot of things happening on the wastewater infrastructure. There is a policy, national draft water reuse policy has been 2025, I think it will come out in
Okay.
terms of enforcement.
Right.
NGT is doing a lot of work in terms of enforcing wastewater doesn't go to our lakes. Lot of things happening on NGT side. See, each one is correct from their side when they are enforcing. So
Yeah.
I've seen all the sides, so I understand each one is enforcing for a reason. Someone takes a 20 years horizon, someone takes a 2 years horizon, someone takes a 50 years horizon. So each one's perspective will be different when they enforce something. But as organizations, as citizens, we
Become
have,
more aware.
yeah, exactly. If we are made aware that this can be done, then that will drive change into the city.
Absolutely. So switching gears a bit, what's next for Boson? What's the future looking like for you guys?
Right. So we are currently selling around 10 lakh liters of water every day. Every
Okay.
day, 10 lakh liters from our system. Otherwise, which would have gone to the drain, we enable, close the loop, and sell 10 lakh liters every day to our clients. Now, this year we'll take that 10 lakh to 25 lakh liters per day. And the year after, we touch that 500 crore per liter mark in terms of sale of water, 500 crore liters per year sale of water. So we will be setting up a system in 40 apartments by December next year, 2025. Next year, by this time, we want. Now we have 10. We have 30 more apartments which we have to put. We will have good number of captive installation in Chennai. Captive meaning malls, IT parks, that category of installation in Chennai and Pune.
Okay.
We'll have some large projects in Hyderabad. So all these places will slowly impact.
Amazing.
And, yeah.
And I wish you and the team good luck for this.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Of course. And maybe to wrap up the discussion, slightly more relaxed question. I know being a founder takes up a lot of time. What are some of the things you do outside of work? I know you have a lovely family as well, 2 little kids.
So I make sure that I play badminton 3 times a week.
How fun.
So 3 times a week I play badminton. Apart from that, all our travel generally anywhere. So for me, over time when I was young, so I did so much of traveling. So it it doesn't really excite me in terms of it. It feels a lot of work taking whole family on
Yeah.
travel. But nowadays, all the materials which we have to buy or something, we have to see what technology in different city we keep traveling. So that becomes our important thing. Over the week, if you see, the most exciting things which we do is going to tea shops and opening charts and drawing what to do for the city, what to do for the country. So
Yeah.
in our company, what we do is out of 7 days, 3 days is charity days. When we interact with apartments, right, so we
Yeah.
become really frustrated because people don't really understand the intention of why we want to do. They ask questions about money. Why are you not giving me money, when we are helping them in terms of policy, things like that. So what happens, we mark 3 days as charity day so that we don't get frustrated. We go speak to the apartment. Someone in one of the case, one of the apartments, we went inside, and one of the bearers say, nowadays sewage collectors have started talking in English. Who let you in? So
Wow.
people get offended. So now to keep our cool in that, so we take 3 days as charity days.
What are
So
charity days?
charity days is you don't expect any revenue out of it. You just do it as service. If
Right.
they understand, you make your best effort to help them understand what we are trying to do for the city, right? Instead of seeing us as a company who's trying to make money. See, it is easy for us to make money selling an STP, right? We
Yeah.
sell an STP, we make 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs. It is easy for us to do that. We have done that. We have 1,000 plus companies who we have done till 2019. It's easy for us to do. Fixed team, fixed product, fixed sale.
Yeah.
That is easy for us to do. Now this is a difficult bit to do. It is not immediate money. It's a risky game. We have to fight with everything. Technology, we have to fight. Apartment buyers, tankers, all these are there in the cycle. Now when people question our intentions, you will make lot of money. Boss, I'm putting 40 lakhs into your apartment. Out of my equity, my house, I'm putting it for your apartment, and you're asking more money out of it. So it sometimes feels frustrating, meaning,
Yeah.
why are we doing all these? They don't really understand now. Some apartments say, I don't want to become legal. I don't want to become legal. Why are you forcing me
Yeah.
to become legal? So then those days we mark it as charity days. Now I go for
Right.
such meetings, then I mark my calendar saying today is a charity day. Meaning, so
That's
yeah,
a nice concept to have. Everyone can
3
sort
days
of,
charity days.
yeah, maintain your
Exactly.
composure and continue business. No, amazing. I guess that brings us to the end of this. Thank you so much, Mr. Vikas. It was so lovely to have you here. Thank
Same
you for
here.
sharing your stories and insights on the industry. I'm sure our listeners, this is a very informative conversation.
Thank you.
And yeah, again, it was wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I feel really happy to have been here. Thank you for the amazing questions, and thank you for your time. And it will be pleasure to see this online.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks for tuning in today. See you next episode.